So from section P6, problem number 16, we are asked to multiply the square root of 2, negative 2, plus 2i times the quantity 6 plus 5i. And I'm going to draw a really big grid because I'm going to do a lot of math inside these boxes here. So I'm going to say negative 2, or the square root of negative 2, 2i, 6, and then 5i. So this is just going to be this is just going to be 6 times the quantity negative 2, or the square root of negative 2. This is going to be 5i times the square root of negative 2. This is going to be 12i. And then this is going to be 5 times 2 is 10, so it's 10i squared. So I'm just going to write all that out. I've got 6 times the square root of negative 2 plus 5i times the square root of negative 2 plus 12i plus, now what is I squared? Negative 1. So what can I skip a step and just say negative 10? Alright? I could just say negative 10. Alright, good. So now this negative square root deal, how do I rewrite that? I could rewrite that as 6 times the quantity square root of negative 1 times the quantity square root of 2, right? And then plus 5i, and then do the same thing over here, plus the square root of negative 1, or I'm sorry, times the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 2, right? Because negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And then the same thing over here, negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And then we have plus 12i minus 10. Well, what is the square root of negative 1? I. So this becomes 6 times the square root of 2, I. And then this one over here becomes 5i times the square root of 2 times I. And then this becomes 12i. Well, it always was. Alright, cleaning it up a little bit. I have two i's here, which is I squared. What is I squared? I squared is the same as negative 1. So this is really 6 times the square root of 2 times I minus 5 times the square root of 2, right? Because I times I is I squared, which is negative 1. Negative 1 times all this stuff switches it to negative 5 square root of 2. Plus 12i minus 10. Almost done. So now I'm going to put my real terms. I've got negative 5 the square root of 2 minus 10. That's the real stuff. And then over here I have 6, positive 6, 2 root 2i minus 12i. And you might think that you could clean that up a little bit, but I don't know. The only thing I can think of is maybe you factor out this. So you might say like 5 square root of 2 minus 10. That's your real number. And then over here you would say plus 6 the square root of 2 minus 12 times I. You might do it like that, where this is the real component and this is the imaginary. And the whole thing together is the complex number. Any questions on that one?